Hello, I'm Joseph Hale. I am the youth minister here at Great Commission Church, and I also serve on the pastoral staff.
Great to have you, Joe.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to ask you a couple questions about some of your experiences out with the Project West Oak Lane, Ask Me Why I'm Not in Church.
Cool.
And just answer honestly, freely, whatever comes to heart. First, what was your first experience going into the mission field?
My first experience here with GCC in the mission field, we went out and we witnessed at the local McDonald's on Shelton Avenue. And the first time I went out with the group, I kind of was just observing and seeing how the church did it. That was the first year I did it. The year after, I was considered a group leader and went out to that same location. So my first experience was just one of observation to see how the church interacted with the public and what the proper protocols were. And then the year after that, I was all in.
Awesome. What's one of your most memorable experiences being out in the mission field?
I would say I have two. Two of my most memorable were a time when I spoke to a young man who had just finished smoking a blunt while I walked up to him speaking. But I just basically ignored the fact that he was smoking, and we just had a casual conversation, and it went really well. My other is when I was confronted by a young man who was a Hebrew Israelite, and he was very hostile and even proceeded to kind of poke me in my chest and argue with me about the faith. And I was just able to kind of de-escalate the situation by not fully engaging and then having a decent conversation with the young man.
Okay. Well, going off of that, what would you say was one of the biggest obstacles that you may have faced in the mission field?
I think one of the biggest obstacles is just confidence. Knowing that God's not going to send you into anything without being prepared, and just having that confidence and knowing that you have what it takes to share the gospel, because God wouldn't have put you there if you didn't. And so just that obstacle of getting over the fact that, am I ready? Am I prepared? Am I capable?
Okay. What's some of the things that you prayed for before heading out or while you're out there, preparing for the next time you're out in the mission field? What are some of the things that you prayed for or asked God for?
I definitely asked God for safety. I pray for that God would send the people that he wants us to engage with. And I pray that he gives us the words to say. So those are kind of the same consistent prayers that I give. Pray that the people that he wants us to engage with are obvious, that we engage with those people, and that we have the proper, dialogue to give those people.
Okay. And one last question, what would be some piece of advice that you would give to someone who's preparing for their first experiences out in the mission field?
I would tell them to study the Romans road, that Romans road of salvation. There's a few verses in Romans that allow you to kind of guide someone into salvation. And if you have that down as your foundation of sharing the gospel, it also allows you to be able to answer some questions that people may have about the faith.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Joe, for your time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.